Hello, welcome to the Finding Research Opportunities virtual workshop. My name is Bobby Peltz. I'm an upper division biology major here at UGA, and I'm going to talk to you a bit today about getting involved in research as an undergraduate student. For the purposes of this virtual workshop, I've broken it down into 3 steps. The first is know thyself. Second, know your opportunities. And finally, put what you learned today into action and start approaching faculty. But first, a couple of disclaimers about this workshop. I don't have a secret list of faculty who are looking for research students to join their labs. This is a proactive process. It's going to depend on your effort. And I encourage you to think of it like a job search, just with lower stakes. You're going to get out of this what you put into it. And also think of this as an opportunity to do some networking practice, something you're going to need for any profession you may enter. The other big disclaimer, particularly this semester, is that we're currently living under a pandemic. And as a result, finding research opportunities is a bit trickier. Many labs are having to limit the number of students they can accept and limit physical access to those labs. So you may find that you have to reach out to more professors and more PIs than some of your friends have in the past to find the opportunity that is right for you. But the first step of finding that opportunity is knowing yourself. Spend some time thinking about why you want to get involved in research. What particularly are you interested in? Is there a particular field of research that appeals to you? And what do you have to offer as a potential research assistant? So why do you want to do research? Some possibilities might include because you're interested in it. You have a genuine interest for biomedical research or ecological research or whatever the case may be. And this is going to be the most appealing reason. Expressing that genuine interest to your audience of faculty, PIs is going to be appealing. Maybe you want to study this field in more depth, go to graduate school, maybe enter academia someday. This is also going to be an appealing reason. Professors and researchers have devoted years of their lives to studying their fields, working in those fields. Appealing to that is going to be a strong strategy. Maybe you're trying to build your resume for professional school. You're a pre-med student and you've heard having research looks good on a CV when you apply to med school. Or you are hoping to enter pharmacy school and you want a little more research under your belt before you do so. That's not a bad reason either, but I still encourage you to express genuine interest in the research that you're applying to. And then the least compelling reason is because you need it to graduate. The professors, the PIs leading these labs, they know that you're trying to get involved, at least partially motivated by the fact that you need experiential learning, or you're majoring in biochemistry where you have to do research. You don't need to explain that to them, and leading with that is not going to compel them to pick you out of the pool of applicants. When you speak to faculty or you email them about joining their labs, also think about what you have to offer. What strengths do you have that you can provide this person and this lab? Do you come with a particular skill already because you've been trained to use a set of instruments, or you have participated in data analysis in the past? Maybe you have some particular knowledge in a key field. You've taken classes in general and organic chemistry, and that's going to be relevant for a lab in biochemistry. If you are fairly early in your career here at UGA as a student, Maybe you don't have those classes, but you have other strengths you can play to. Like you're a sophomore and you can therefore devote multiple semesters to research. Research takes a long time. Some professors are going to want a multi-semester commitment from you before they accept you. Some just want you in the room doing the work that they need you to do. Think about what strengths you are bringing and play those up. Step 2 of finding an opportunity is knowing what opportunities exist. You've got to find out who has an active lab or project that you can get involved in. Search departmental web pages to see faculty profiles and their research profiles. Find out what Dr. X in microbiology works on. Pay attention to posters and departmental announcements, either physical ones or through the serves. Outside of academic departments like microbiology and plant biology and chemistry, there are research centers on and around campus that you can get involved in for course credit, for experiential learning credit. Things like the Complex Carbohydrate Research Center and a few others that we'll take a brief look at. If your main motivation for research is experience rather than course credit, you might also intern at government agencies or labs, things like the EPA labs or the Georgia Bureau of Investigation forensic labs. And then just a brief list of some of the other research centers on campus. This is not an exhaustive list, but just some places to start your searches. And on the website where you found this slide, there will also be a list of web links where you can do some more searching. Another big opportunity for undergraduate students is the Center for Undergraduate Research Opportunities, CURA. You've probably heard of it before, and you may have wondered, what is CURA? What does it do for me? Is it only for honor students? Anyone involved in undergraduate research is eligible for CURA. You can apply for a CURA research assistant or a summer fellowship. You can apply to CURA for conference travel support if you want to present the work you've done at a local or regional conference. You also have the opportunity to present what you've done at the CURA Undergraduate Symposium. And this can be a bit of a low pressure opportunity to present your findings to an audience of campus scholars. This is also a really nice CV building opportunity for those of you who want to pursue professional programs or graduate programs. For most majors, however, academic credit is arranged through your major department and not through CURA. This isn't the case for everyone, but generally is true. And then step 3 is the scary step for a lot of us, and that is approaching faculty. How do you start that process? What do you need to include? How judgy are faculty going to be? Don't worry too much about that last point. Faculty are here because they enjoy being here. They enjoy their research, they like working with students, and they like the opportunity of teaching and guiding students. So don't be scared to reach out. And don't be hesitant about reaching out to faculty you don't previously know. If you do have a previous relationship, that's great. But if you don't, that's not a problem necessarily. So you're probably going to start this process of approaching faculty with an email. A few things to keep in mind is professionalism is very important. You want to present yourself in a professional manner in this email. You don't want huge glaring errors. Don't address a professor by the wrong name. Don't say they're working on X project when they're really working on Y. Show that you've done your homework, that you know who this person is, what their research is. Use this email to advocate for yourself a little bit. If you have some special skills or strengths that you can offer, include those briefly in the email. And during a normal semester, we advise requesting an in-person meeting. However, this semester, this is probably going to work entirely virtually. You might instead ask for a meeting via Zoom if you do want a bit more of a face-to-face chat with a professor. And you're going to have to contact a lot of PIs and researchers to find the opportunity that sticks for you. We typically recommend 10 to 15 faculty members. Don't do these one at a time where you email Professor Y and you wait 3 weeks and then you move to the next person. You can email multiple faculty members at the same time or within the same range of time, but do tailor each individual email to that particular person. Don't just draft up a generic email of, hey, I'm looking for research, what you got, and send it along. So a bit of advice on that email format: include a professional greeting, address them as doctor rather than miss or Mrs. or Mr. or whatever the case may be. Identify yourself, tell briefly who you are and why you're interested, and be ready to send a resume or a CV if you have one. If you don't have one and you would like to create one, the Career Center can help you with that process. Show that you understand what the professor is working on. You've done a little research of their personal website, their departmental website, to find out, where their research centers. Is it on malaria and mosquito populations, or are they working on cancer treatments? Have an idea of where their field is. And again, generally, we advise asking for a meeting. This semester and next semester, that meeting may be an email, it may be Zoom, but ask to get involved. And then a quick example of a not so great email. Hello, sir. My name is I'm a student, and I'm a highly motivated student. I'm very interested in your research studying biology. I would like to talk to you in person about your research. Thanks, Ima. A recurring piece of advice about writing is show, don't tell. Saying I'm a highly motivated student and then 2 more sentences is not showing that you're a motivated student at all. Also, I'm interested in your research studying biology is incredibly vague. Give more of an indication of what that professor or that PI is working on. Do your research and show your work. And then one other quick point, if you'll note that this email was sent at 1:30 in the morning. Some of us are night owls, and that's great. It works well for some of us. But in a professional setting, you might draft this email at 1:30 in the morning, because you're a night owl, and wait until business hours to send it. So instead, you might want something more like, Dear Dr. Smart, professional greeting. My name is blank, and I'm a 3rd-year X major planning to do whatever it is you plan to do with that degree. Go into graduate school, go to medical school. I read about your research on the departmental website, or I found you listed in the journal of X thing. And I'm interested in your work, your specific work, because of these reasons. Why are you interested? What motivated you to reach out to this specific lab? Do you or one of your graduate students have 15 to 20 minutes to discuss your research? If you want a Zoom meeting, a face-to-face Zoom, provide some parameters for when you're available. Don't just say, I would like to meet with you, and leave it on them to figure out when to schedule that meeting. provide some parameters. If you would prefer to make the request to join the lab in the email, make that request. I'm really interested in your research because of these reasons, and I'm wondering, do you have any availability in your lab for students next semester? I look forward to speaking with you. I look forward to learning more, however you want to wrap it up. Sincerely. A quick note on this brief example, don't treat this as a plug and play email where you just go in and replace the X's with your relevant information and send it out. Tailor your email to each individual person. Okay? I can't stress how important that is, especially given how many students have seen this sample in the past and now and are going to be using it. Tailor so you stand out and you show that you've put in some effort. If you get a response, that's great. Follow up with that person. Tell them, when you can talk about it more, or what steps you need to go through to sign up for credit for your particular program or major. If you don't get a response, wait a couple of weeks max, and if that's a lab that you really want to get involved in, forward that original message as a follow-up and be polite. If that follow-up still doesn't get a response, move on. It's just not the right opportunity for you. There are other opportunities out there. Keep searching. If a professor asks for more of an interview before accepting you, they want to talk with you on Zoom or chat with you about the lab and why you are a good fit for the lab, do a little more digging into the lab. Look at the lab's webpage and read it more closely. Read over some abstracts they may have published and come prepared with a couple of relevant questions. And at this point, if a person asks for an interview, definitely send a resume if you have one. And then a few relevant hyperlinks to start some of your searching. My general advice is start with your departmental website, because if you're in microbiology or you're in biochemistry, chances are you want to work with professors in those areas. Start looking there. And then you can expand your scope a little bit to some of these research centers, to other departments. And always, depending on your major, if you're trying to do research for credit, check with your academic advisor to see what the process is for getting credit in your major. And if there's any particular paperwork that you have to do or particular labs that have to be approved or pre-approved, speak with your advisor. Again, we'll make this list available on the website. And we'll also have a few follow-up workshops on Zoom where you can chime in with one of our other advisors, Kathy Bolt or Doug Stennett, and get some advice on an email that you have drafted. We do ask that you come to those Zooms with a draft ready so we can give you some specific advice for your particular email. And if you have follow-up questions, you can reach me. My email is bepelts@uga.edu, or reach out to your major advisor for advice as well. Good luck with your search, and I hope you enjoy research.